morning, y'all, and welcome back to my channel. Thank y'all so much for tapping back in to see what I have to say. I promise y'all, it truly does mean the world to me. But with that being said, we're talking about Quant Network, okay? Quant Network just came out with a new product on top of Quant Flow, Quant PayScripts. This PayScript system literally is payments for individuals inside of the country. So it's not just with Project Rosalind, which was the CBDC aspect of it. Like, this is money that's being sent as the retail investor when I'm on Amazon and Google, or when I'm out and about at the grocery store, at the Walmart. That's what Project Rosalind was. But what PayScripts is literally the payments that these people receive from their jobs and governments. Literally that system. So it's not just the system of them spending the money, it's also the system of them receiving the money. You guys truly understand what Quant Network has done. Truly see the vision of where they sit when they have coupled their technology, their software as a service, Overledger, to government standards, ISO TC 307, to internet protocols, secure asset transfer protocol coming out of the IETF. There's a standard that they have within NAPA, which is the Global Blockchain Standard Organization. You guys truly understand and see what's happening. Their technology is patented almost at a global scale at this point in time. And this is the technology that they are literally selling to their customers, which is the central banks, commercial banks, major conglomerate institutions in the world. We're talking about economies being ran on this system, okay? Truly understand what Overledger is, and then see how the pieces like Quant Flow and Quant PayScripts fit into the architecture of Overledger, because it's not just the interoperability. What Overledger is giving them so they can seamlessly interoperate between blockchain and blockchain in traditional rails, but also things like a Quant Flow, which is them literally digitizing their entire business with a technology that is backed by a standard. Truly understand, because that's why there's different working groups inside of ISO TC 307. But then also, on this side of it, you have the programmable payments that the people will be receiving. This is not no hyper speculation. Follow me on this, you guys. What they have done is incredible. But the programmable payments that people will be receiving from their jobs, if you're on some type of government assistance, their government assistance, or any other type of payment you receive from whatever employer you're with, plus the rails of spending that once you have received it. This is incredible. But anyway, we're getting ready to hop into some of PayScript so you can truly understand and see where this is going. And it all ties into Overledger. Literally, Quant software as a service. Y'all, I'll be right back. This is coming from my boy, Maximus Crypto. Bro, you rock.
This is important. Quant has this thing, when you get more into the weeds, about Quant Flow, and it's called PayScript. The language of money. Harness programmability to unlock new revenue streams, automate complex workflows, transform customer experiences, and secure a competitive edge in today's markets. Now, when we talk about language, it means that Quant, through this thing called PayScript, could totally be, if they wanted, outside of what Swift is doing. Well, absolutely. Absolutely. Because programmable money has to have a programmable language for that money.
If managing your crypto feels like solving a puzzle, it's time to switch to Decent Wallet. It's just a few taps. You can manage, track, and secure your crypto with unmatched ease. And here's the best part. Grab your Decent Wallet at a discounted price by using the referral link below. Don't miss out on making your crypto experience smoother and more secure.
As we take you into this other part, I want you guys to see this. I decided to take the liberty of downloading this particular March PDF of Quant PayScript. Download it for you all. Here's the PDF, and what do you see here? Introduction. Programmable payments have garnered significant attention in recent years. Right, no kidding. But what's really, really interesting is when I got to certain parts of this, well, it mentions things like flow numerous times, right? And here's where it gets really interesting. Payments can be scheduled for specific times of specific events to align payments with cash flow, minimizing financial stress during leaner months or ensuring larger payments are made when funds are available. Take this next area. Does it cite anything with the RLN? It does. Application-based programmability. Various fintech companies define programmable payments as transactions that can be integrated into software applications. So, boom, things like what the OVM provides with Overledger, or in this case, the other platform, Quant Flow, and allowing businesses to automate payment processing and improve cash flow management. Industry overlay layer-based programmability. Okay, how do you say Overledger without saying it? Boom, there you go. And it was also interesting to see that they cited Revolut. And doesn't Revolut own over 25, maybe even 30,000 at this point, QNT token? Those who use financial management tools on page 5 of 27. Programmable payments can integrate seamlessly with these platforms, allowing for forecasting to future spending, including irregular payments or semi-regular manual payments. And it says it's got this thing called the set and forget for certain payments. They can also receive timely prompts, one click to pay, which simplifies a wide range of informal payment scenarios, freeing up time to focus on other priorities. Interesting. And this other part, does IMF recognize this? Yes. Programmable payments have been defined in various terms over the past few years. And it references the whole thing of IMF, smart contracts, you name it. But again, this citation, industry overlay layer, that is definitely worth pointing out for you guys. So what could we cite here that would be roughly around $160 billion? Well, the closest thing would be Ripple XRP in market cap. We see Ripple XRP at $122.4 billion in the market cap. All right. Well, let's take you over to this. QNT with the market cap of XRP, currently speaking, would be 130x. We're going to round it off, which would put QNT at $8,453 per QNT token. That sounds absolutely mind-boggling. Let's take it to the next part of this. On page 8 of 27, it talks about Quant PayScript. Again, I downloaded this thing for you guys. Hope you appreciate it. Legacy payment instruments. Legacy payment instruments are defined as follows. And it cites UK banks and faster payment systems. Remember?
You heard the terminology that is being used, how these literally programmable payments will interoperate seamlessly into your everyday life. This is the reason why, if you guys remember, and I've actually put it in a couple videos, and I might put a little piece of it inside this video. Gilbert Burdian, the CEO at Quant Network, at EBADay, which is the entire European payment system organization that ties directly into SEPA, which stands for Single Euro Payment Area. Who is there? Quant Network. Why? Because they have programmable digital money processes, the rail to actually use them on a safe, trusted, governmental backed, because you have things like G-Cloud 13 in the UK government that also utilizes Quant's services. If you don't know what that is, look it up, because that is the cloud that the UK government uses for their systems. You have things like I said, the Bank of International Settlements and the Rosalind sandboxes for the central banks to start playing with this programmable money. And now you have Quant Flow. So now your corporations and institutions and your commercial banks can now start playing in these sandboxes, building out digital infrastructure, because there's global standards that are getting ready to go live literally within a matter of months. We're talking November 2025. I believe the exact date is November 22nd, 2025. And that is when ISO 222, the global messaging standard for sending money instantly, goes live. And you have different things like the Fed now in America and other places building out their real-time gross settlement engines to literally either couple itself, it's because it's not built on blockchain, but their terminology says we have coupled it, basically, meaning we have a bridge. And what do you think that bridge is? It is Overledger. It sits on top of the traditional rails of the internet today, and it sits on top of every blockchain that exists today, currently, and in the future, and it ties all of them together seamlessly with 0 lines of code. You also now have the developer side with things like Make and Zapier and Pipe Dreams. And if you are a developer and you're watching this, you know exactly what I'm talking about because you use these things every day building out code. Truly understand what is being laid out in front of us and how this opportunity of knowing about QNT long before utility in motion actually kicks in for this particular company. Now, you guys, you have to truly understand that we are getting ready to decouple ourselves even from crypto. There is going to be a crypto market and there is going to be a distributed ledger asset sector. It's going to be 2 different things. And while that retail money over here that really don't know no better is going to meme tokens and meme coins and run into things that has no type of real world tangible value whatsoever, is pouring their hard-earned money into these things without realizing that that is not going to last after regulation. You will have a few grandfathered in, and there's going to be a few because we already have ETFs being worked out and talked about like Doge and possibly a Shiba, you know, some of your large cap multi-billion dollars. But a lot of those meme tokens will disappear because once regulation comes into place, to be regulatory compliant, you can't have a doxed team. So that means everybody has to be, undocked. So everybody has to be with your government names and government IDs because you would have to start legitimizing this as an actual company and get an actual company license to be transmitting within the borders of this. Crypto is changing completely, you guys. It is a shift happening, you guys. This is the reason why we just now, I want to say it was Thursday, we just got the new SEC chair. I'm doing a video about that. It's coming up in the next few days. You guys understand what is truly being laid out. Infrastructure is being laid, okay? Follow me on this. But anyway, we hopping back into Quant Network, okay? And more about this whole transition and how the digitization of money is taking place right in front of our faces, you guys. I'll be right back.
For example, yield distribution on the very bottom. You go to the top, it says streamline corpus, enable logic-based automation. Interesting. Because when you get to the bottom part, again, it says resources, discover, PayScript. Remember how we just talked about that? Well, let's take you to this other part. Making money work with global programmable money. Always interesting to see the terminology when it comes to this. Because, again, introducing Quant Flow. And you guys have already seen that trailer before on another video. But Quant Flow, the money engine, is the evolution in programmable money, driving an era of scalability, automation, and acceleration. That is so major when it comes to all of this. And trusted by central banks and global financial institutions. Bank of England, Bank for International Settlements, UK Finance, because they're part of the whole thing of RLN. They worked on the digital pound and the UK RLN. So I want to pull this part up. Mapping new crypto assets into existing legislation. Back to the whole thing of Christine Lagarde's call to action about legislators. So remember the key term of mapping. Okay, because when it comes to Quant Network, they have what is referred to as maps with 2 P's. Okay, so don't forget about that. So it says it's a challenge complicated by their novel properties such as decentralization and absence of an issuer. But the bottom line is, how can you modernize existing assets through digital token representations? Right, now look at this. It says how it comes together. Existing ASIC powers. Comprehensive mapping of tokenized real-world assets from different tokenization modules to existing legislation. It shows how that this can happen. basically speaking. It says mapping could formalize additional regulatory guide. Its purpose is to provide clarity, think about that, and identity barriers such as unintended or misaligned regulatory transformations of tokenized assets. All right, look at this part. Let me jump down to this part. Therefore, we propose developing a comprehensive two-dimensional taxonomy of digital assets that accounts for differences in the underlying asset and in the tokenization structure. Such taxonomy would facilitate the systematic mapping of all digital assets that already exist and also those that could emerge in the future. All right. Who does this as we speak? It's the Quant Network through the Overledger. They leverage what, everybody? They leverage all digital assets that already exist. This next part, because what does Quant Network reference in all of it? Well, building the future with game-changing maps with 2 P's. Remember that? What does that stand for? Multi-apps, maps. It says, Overledger facilitates multi-chain applications which benefit from the ability to operate simultaneously across multiple different ledgers. The team demonstrated the innovative use cases of Overledger maps in real time. The demonstration began with search engine map akin to Google that can read and view transactions across multiple ledgers. The team demonstrated the innovative use cases of Overledger multi-apps in real time. The demonstration began with a search engine multi-app akin to Google that can read and so on, but it include Bitcoin, well, BTC, Ethereum, and even Ripple. Then it goes on to mention developers can start innovating in creating game-changing maps with Overledger from at least December 1st, 2018.
Programmable payments. So set the scene for us if you can. How can programmable payments really benefit both personal and business financial transactions, do you think?
So if you look at the system today, we don't have digital money, we've got electronic money. And money today can only do 2 things, it's a push and a pull. So we're very limited with the current system that we've inherited because there's not much else you can do with the money and the whole financial system. And what we set out to do with the work that we've done using DLT and the work in central bank digital currencies, we set out to find what is so different about digital currency, digital money. And so what we've seen is we're moving to digital finance because we're transforming the nature of money from electronic to digital, and that means programmability plays a big part. It gives the ability to program logic into money for the first time. You can code events, actions, all of those things that are very complicated to do on both ends of a transaction. You can embed that into money. And so programmability is a way for you to automate very complex B2B consumer workflows into money. And a very simple example, if I can say, is direct debits. Yeah. So you get paid at the end of the month, your salary comes in, you've got your direct debits, and your utilities mortgage, it goes out. Sometimes, for whatever reason, money is taken out before your salary is put in, so you're overdrawn. And that's a really bad experience, you get all the texts. So what you can do with programmability is you can say, when my salary is paid, 1 hour after it's paid, take my mortgage, take my utility, take my phone bills. And that's programmability. So it's a bit of a game changer in the way you transact.
What about the role of RLN? What role does RLN play in programmable payments, in your opinion, in advancing that kind of process?
So the whole transformation of electronic to digital has to be a collaborative method. Each bank can't do it on their own. So RLN is a project that all the banks came together. There's RLN UK, which we're involved in, and it's a way where the banks are building, co-designing, and creating tokenized money, digital money, with all their counterparties and their peers. And so what we're doing in the project is really enabling the whole infrastructure, connecting to banks using traditional connections and traditional rails, but then connecting to digital CBDCs and other types of rails where you can have interoperability of all forms of money. So in RLN, it's the industry innovating and it's the industry collaborating to build the next generation of payment infrastructure.
Sure.
So even as you saw in that, They talked about the RLN. And if you don't know what the RLN is, look it up. The RLN UK Finance. Please look it up so you can see all of the banks, the major banks, the commercial banks inside of Europe participated in it. And who was the technology provider for the RLN UK? Quant Network. You also, like they talked about, the Bank of England there. That is the central bank of England. Think about this, you guys. They talked about the Bank of International Settlements in their video, and they talked about working with them. Think about who they are. They are the central bank of central banks. This project no other project is on the level of Quant Network, because no other project has put the time in to be on the level of Quant Network. And what I mean by that is, think about this. Quant Network was started when? 2016, 2017. When was most of y'all crypto projects started? Thank you. Really understand what is truly being laid out. People think these are dino coins. No, these coins have put the time in. They have put the research in. They have the backing to prove what I boast on my website truly exists. And you can ask the central banks, the commercial banks, and you can ask the multinational corporations like Amazon and Barclays, MasterCard, Visa, these companies who I've worked alongside. Understand what Quant Network is truly doing and see this roadmap that is being laid out. So perfect. When I say perfectly, like this is, I said all the time, it's an incredible opportunity. Truly understanding and knowing about Quant Network, knowing about QNT in 2025, long before our utility in motion kicks in, latter maybe this year, going into 2026, when these global standards start to go live and these processes in regards to the standards start to be utilized outside of sandboxes and inside of real day processes within companies and organizations. Truly understand what is happening. And to know that now governments are getting in line and they are all pushing regulation forward. Every single person that has been elected inside of America not elected, but voted in from the processes of being voted in, both the SEC chair, the new one, both the Treasury Secretary, the president, the AI and crypto czar, all of them, Trump, Bassett, David Sachs, all of them are all very pro crypto, and they have had a push crypto agenda since day one, starting with executive orders. Those executive orders rolled into working groups inside of the House and the Senate Financial and Agriculture Committees, which then turned into bills that are now being voted on so it can be pushed to his desk. Understand what is truly happening in front of us. And they're saying they're going to make America the crypto capital of the world. But what they mean by that is not crypto. They're going to make America the distributed ledger capital of the world, just like they did with the Internet 2.0 with Microsoft Windows. Understand what is truly happening. Follow me on this, you guys, okay? I thank y'all for tuning in. I thank y'all for tapping in. I truly, truly, truly do. And if you made it all the way through this entire rant, type in Quant. And I know you made it all the way through this entire video. Until the next time, y'all already know I truly do appreciate y'all. Peace out.